Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Hashem Yahshua, Hashem HaRakakadash. Amongst the elders and apostles of great most on it, rule well. And shalom to the brothers doing the work, sincerity and truth. Yeah, you got this orb, back in the news, which is amusing because you read through this article, it's really presenting it as a form of salvation from AI. That's really the angle they're trying to push it. Is AI is it's the way it's developing. It's just gonna end up becoming supreme and all powerful. Online you might think, oh, you've hired some geezer for a job, but then it's just an AI. Is how it's kind of being presented. And then the only kind of way to save it is to have, a global ID, a world ID, I think they call it. And then with that, then it's like you can prove, okay, you're a person, you're a geezer. So then, we can then have it where it's like, okay, as long as you got these orbs able to verify people are real, then you can guarantee you're still dealing with real people. So that's on time. It says the orb will see you now is a title, and I'll skip down through because it's quite long. But from the top it says, once again Sam Altman wants to show you the future. The CEO of OpenAI is standing on a sparse stage in San Francisco, preparing to reveal his next move to an attentive crowd. We need some way for identifying, authenticating humans in an age of artificial general intelligence. We wanted to make sure that humans stayed special and central. So the solution Altman came up with is looming behind him. It's a white sphere about the size of a beach ball with a camera at its center. The company that makes it, known as Tools for Humanity, calls this mysterious device the Orb. Stare into the heart of the plastic and silicon globe, and it will map the unique furrows and ciliary zones of your iris. Seconds later, you'll receive inviolable proof of your humanity. A 12,800 digit binary number known as an iris code sent to an app on your phone. At the same time, a packet of cryptocurrency called WorldCoin, worth approximately $42, will be transferred to your digital wallet, your reward for becoming a verified human. So the way it's being pushed, present, is with, you get crypto, and that's why people are doing it. And I believe most of the places they'd gone to had been in the third world kind of regions where people needed, money like that, to the point where they'll be like, fuck it, I'll give up, identifying, factors myself to just, get the cash. But then it's like with that, obviously, you then have you're basically linking yourself into a central database, to prove and verify yourself, and then knowing the prophecies. I just think like that's something that can then, okay, well, we can just push that onto what's it called, onto the mark, onto that micro C hip. Okay. So skipping down a bit, it says, and so Tools for Humanity set out to build a global proof of humanity network. It aims to verify 50 million people by the end of 2025. Ultimately, its goal is to sign up every single human being on the planet. The free crypto serves as both an incentive for users to sign up and also an entry point into what the company hopes will become the world's largest financial network. There you go. So the crypto is part of getting them linked into the financial system that's built off the backbone of that biological information. What they call it, oh, not authentication. There's a term, I can't remember exactly, but it's essentially built off the back of, okay, so you've been verified as this particular person, and then now you got that linked to the crypto, to your money making, spending habits and whatnot, and they essentially want to have those two things in tandem. So it says, through which it believes double-digit percentages of the global economy will eventually flow. Even for Altman, these missions are audacious. If this really works, it's like a fundamental piece of infrastructure for the world. Altman tells Time in a video interview from the passenger seat of a car a few days before his April 30 keynote address. So this is what the project's goal is: to solve a problem, partly of Altman's own making. In the near future, he and other tech leaders say advanced AIs will be imbued with agency, the ability to not just respond to human prompting, but to take actions independently in the world. This will enable the creation of AI co-workers that can drop into your company and begin solving problems, AI tutors that can adapt their teaching style to students' preferences, even AI doctors that can diagnose routine cases and handle scheduling or logistics. The arrival of these virtual agents, their venture capitalist backers predict, will turbocharge our productivity and unleash an age of material abundance. Which is what they're saying, but the reality of it is you're going to have a huge amount of people where they used to have a job and the AI is doing it, and then they're fucked. So it's the verifying your human aspect seems weird, but then it's like if it's building towards the mark, it makes more sense that way, because they're essentially what do you call that? They're essentially building a backbone, kind of system for those that might get disenfranchised or lose their job or whatever, to kind of lean on. And then as well, as further crisis develops, then that mark looks more and more enticing, engaging with that system, because then it'll be like, shit's fucked, but then you go to the system, you get that mark, then it'll seem like a form of salvation. And that's always been an appeal, a draw of this mark, man, how they're going to push it. So I think it was okay. What's the challenge in this core model online advertising? Okay. So a bit further down it says, the arrival of agents won't only threaten our ability to distinguish between authentic and AI content online, it will also challenge the internet's core business model, online advertising, which relies on the assumption that ads are being viewed by humans. The internet will change very drastically sometime in the next 12 to 24 months, says Tools for Humanity CEO Alex Blania. So we have to succeed, or I'm not sure what else will happen. So yeah, it's something they're looking to push and then shift. And the thing is as well, is like, even with like AI online, you had the term, what is it, like dead internet theory, where they were saying like the majority of like interactions happening online, it's just AI talking to other AI, responding. So we go to like comment sections, because it's noticeable with websites as well. Like people have been setting up AI websites. So like basic tech questions is usually the go-to, where you'll kind of you might be like, oh, XYZ happened on my PC, or Windows won't boot up, or how do I, this program stopped working, and then you used to just be able to search it in Google, and then you'll get an answer from, it would usually be a website or a forum, where it would be like an expert or someone that's dealt with that same issue responding. But people have been setting up like AI sites where essentially it goes through those answers, puts them on a website, sticks some ads on the site, and then pretends it's made by, like, it's been done by an expert or whatever, and then just like regurgitates all that information that you'd get from searches, and then using what SEO, search engine optimization, they basically try and appeal to get as many clicks as possible on themselves, on their site. So, you know, because it's because of that, you've then just had like a flood of like garbage on the internet, where it might, you know, it's where before things would simply, like Google, the whole strength of how it even picked up in the first place was because you would search, bang, and then you get like answers that would be on point. And that was like what made people use Google over like Yahoo, Alta Vista, Ask.com, etc. All those things. But, you know, now it's the time of AI. A lot of people search and then they're just using the AI summary. And then those websites are like the precursor to that, where they're just essentially an AI summary on a website. But then, you know, with with AI summaries, then you just have with AI summaries, then you just have like people engaging with the internet differently to how they did before. It's not really inquisitive. They're just kind of going like, okay, bang, give me an answer. And then it makes it so that people aren't even going to be able to kind of pass like, oh, okay, you know, is this like verify information or whatnot. Those things are going to be alien concepts. And then it's really using that as like, oh, you know, this AI is overwhelming. It's going to be too much. You know, we need human verification, which, you know, currently it's being pushed through the orb. You know, where you're getting your iris scanned to get some free crypto. But then, you know, that's where the mark comes in and say, okay, well, look, to you know, to confirm, and then to, you know, to jack into or utilize, you know, financial services off the back of these things. You know, though that mark, very easily see that thing being pushed, especially when you have a form of crisis. If a crisis hits, that just accelerates everything swiftly. Just like C19, man. The way contactless were being used before and after is night and day. Because it was like people kind of had it. Some people would have it on their card and they'll still do like overhead chip and pin. Where you like stick in a card and then put your pin in. It's like there's people now where they don't even know what their pin is. They'll have a card and be like, like the contactless might not work, and they'll be like, I don't even know my pin. Because why? It got pushed so quickly. So same thing, these, you know, if an event happens, shit can accelerate swiftly. Because there's what, for 4 years, Blaney's team has been testing Orb's hardware abroad. Now the US rollout has arrived. Over the next 12 months, 7,500 Orbs will be arriving in dozens of American cities, in locations like gas stations, bodegas, and flagship stores in LA, Austin, and Miami. The project founders and fans hope the Orb's US debut will kickstart a new phase of growth. The San Francisco keynote was titled At Last. So now it's come to America and they're flooding it. They're trying to make that shit normal, which it could be. Especially because you're going to get free crypto. There'll be people where they might just do it just to be like, fuck it, why not? It says, well, it's not clear the public appetite matches the exuberant branding. Tools for Humanity has verified just 12 million humans since mid-2023, a pace Blania concedes is well behind schedule. Few online platforms currently support the so-called World ID that the Orb bestows upon its visitors, leaving little to entice users to get our biometrics. That's the term I was thinking of. Little to entice their users to give up their biometrics beyond the lure of free crypto. So yeah, the World ID, and that's the thing as well, is that especially with Trump being the crypto president as well, he could easily push and then have one, you know, a verification system similar, or just utilize theirs that then makes it where it's like, okay, you can use it as a form of government ID or whatever. There's systems of which you can use it, and it will give like ease of use. So I think it was Estonia. There was one EU country where they said they basically made all their systems. They put all their systems online, electronic, and then it said like paying your taxes takes a matter of minutes, doing like getting your passport verified, all these different kind of things that you do that take like days to weeks to months can be done, extremely simply. So you can have it where it's something that they utilize well, be like, okay, yeah, instead of lining up for this, you can just utilize this online system. You do this ID, it scans your iris or it does whatever, it takes your fingerprint. And then from there, you can kind of be like, yeah, that's usable, and then you get access to those streamlined things. But it's like this is basically the most basic, simplest form. It's straightforward. They're just basically putting it in right now. So we'll kind of have to see, how and when it goes. It might be adopted, it might not. But the whole world ID, it being linked up with crypto and them trying to push financial through it, then you just think about prophecy. It's like that can line up easily. Says even Altman isn't sure whether the whole thing can work. I can see how this becomes a fairly mainstream thing in a few years, he says. Or I can see that it's still only being used by a small subset of people who think about the world in a certain way. Yeah, that's, the reality of it. It could pop, it could not. But looking at it, it's clear what man's trying to accomplish to kind of get, a place. Push towards, prophecy, what they want, man. Everyone getting that C hit. So 2 Thessalonians 2:3, let no man deceive you by any means, but that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Yeah. That man needs to be revealed. And he has. The spotlight's been shone on Esau, Edom, through prophecy, and then lined up with, what this man's doing right now. The elites, really, those that bear rule over the nation. The average Edomite ain't doing shit. Average Edomite is getting cooked by his own people and complaining that, Labour's selling our fishing rights. Says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's really what Esau's trying to do with these technologies. His utilization of technology is so he can try and ascend himself to a state of godhood. So he can be, conduct himself as a god on earth. It's so strange. Oh. What does the scripture say? Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Yeah, you can't trust in Esau. For real, because it's as far as, and that's the thing is looking at his track record, his history, it becomes clear. He's really had one MO, especially when you go to the tribes, the Northern Kingdom, the Southern Kingdom. It's it's a clear MO. Even after so-called civil rights or whatnot, or liberation or etc., then still hell being dealt with. To this day. But that's why, we see these things, line it up with the scriptures, man. But yeah, I'll leave you there. Shalom. Shalom.